Living in a parallel world where grace meets grind and faith meets favor. God lifted me higher than I ever imagined. Later in a parallel world, legacy strong and love runs deep. We rose together, this ain't just me. I'm walking proof of what he can do in this parallel world. Yeah, we made.
Welcome to Parallel World. I am Iris Nicole Patterson. I'm the CEO of Chicago Integrated Health. I've been wanting to have this conversation for some time. I've been walking around for the last 3 years saying that I live in this parallel world where I have two different realities going on. I'm living two different lives. I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in 2023. But I've been the CEO of Chicago Integrated Health since 2020. And on one side, things look really great. They feel great. This life is great. But on the other side, I should say, because that's the upside. But the other side, I'm pissed. Like, being diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, changed so much about my life. Like Monday, right now, today is Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. My husband downstairs, getting ready. Tomorrow I have to go to chemo. And I'm pissed about it. I don't want to go. Trying to reframe my language about it. Trying to reframe it to say, yes, I am grateful that I have options. But living in this parallel world where my life has reached a point where I'm very proud, very grateful. But at the same time, still dealing with anger about even having to go through this diagnosis, right? That's not the only thing though, but that is the top thing. This parallel world also is me feeling like I have reached a point in my success that things are wonderful. It's a multi-million-dollar corporation. But at the same time, some days I don't be knowing I don't be feeling like I know what I'm doing. Like, have you ever lived in that space where you don't feel like you know what you're doing, but you actually are doing very well? So on the outside, your resume looks amazing. But on the flip side, it's like, how did I get here? So, and I've learned a lot along the way. I've learned quite a few, right now, we're experiencing, we're feeling the climate. We're feeling the climate of this new administration, and we're trying to navigate it. There have been so many companies to lay off, but we're trying not to. And it is affecting healthcare. I'm in a healthcare field. And so, especially when it comes down to Medicaid, because we accept Medicaid along with private insurance, the climate is real. Yes. And so we're trying to weather this storm, and I have to drive the ship. I have never driven a ship before, and definitely not one of this size. I'm like, I need to give myself some grace. Have you ever felt like, oh my God, I'm not giving myself enough grace, but you don't realize it until someone stopped to tell you, you need to give yourself grace. And then you're like, oh yeah, I think I should give myself grace. But the first thing you do is beat yourself up about not knowing. Like, how could I have ever known how to lead a $3 million organization if I've never owned one before? And then this is our first time becoming a $3 million. It's actually more than 3 million. But how? So, I just, outside of the tears, because have you ever found yourself crying? You're crying because you don't know. and you're angry about not knowing, but then you find yourself getting up so you can know, studying to know, navigating to learn. Like, that's what we're going to be talking about, living in this parallel world. Things on the outside, things look amazing. But deep down inside, like that meme said, deep down inside, my sock has slipped off my foot inside my shoe. Like, deep down inside, And so that's how it be feeling like. So I called my therapist. Yeah, you got one of those on speed dial because you're going to need one. You are going to need one as you build. I never enjoyed listening to success stories where the people skip the hard stuff, the tough stuff. Like, when I used to first find success stories, because this is not the first time I owned a business. The first business I owned was Iris Botanicals, and I closed it because I didn't want to do it anymore. And then when Iris Botanicals made it into Whole Foods and some beauty supply stores and stuff like that, but I pulled it from the shelf. But while I was building Iris Botanicals, I was hungrily looking for podcasts where people who were in this healthcare field, Carol's daughter, to be exact, would share the hard parts. And every podcast that I listened to with her, she kind of skipped over. She said she had some tough times, but she didn't really go into deep detail about what that felt like. Like, I wanted to know the raw, like the seriousness of what those tough times felt like and looked like. How long did they last? Like, and she kind of glazed over it a little bit in the past. And I'm talking 2014. 2015. I'm talking 2015. But when with me, I'm like, I'm going to talk about the real. Of course, she talks about it now if you was to go and find her, Lisa. But at the time she didn't. But I said, no, I know there's someone right now who needs to know that it's okay to be afraid, okay to feel like you don't know, and that those feelings don't really go away. Not really. I guess when you reach Oprah, it kind of go away, but we're not Oprah, and there's only one, so I guess when you get to the billionaire status, that probably goes away, but it don't go away right away. I have dealt with imposter syndrome. I am one of those people. There are people who say that they don't deal with that. Oprah has said she's never experienced it before. And Quinta Bronson, yeah, she says she's never dealt with imposter syndrome before. I felt like, oh my God, like, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? But kudos to them. But it's millions of us who have. And listen, all of us who have, there's nothing wrong with that. We just don't get stuck there. That's all. We just don't get stuck there, and we don't actually believe those core beliefs. We want to reshape those. We want to have new language. We want to understand that, we are afraid, but we're going to push past the fear. But it's okay if those emotions exist. You don't have to feel bad about that. So, and then Oprah recently said that she's never felt lonely, even being at the top. Well, I'm one of those people who have, okay? She says she enjoys her alone time. There are people who can be alone and not feel lonely. I'm not one of those people. I've discovered that about myself, and there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you are in a space where there aren't many people around who can fully understand what you're experiencing, fully understand what you're going through. They don't really get it. They'll try to empathize, but they can't really understand it because they've never been in similar shoes. And that's okay too. At least they're trying to hold space for you. But it's okay if you feel like it's not enough. It's okay. It's okay. But once again, we at that time, you look for your community. So you can feel surrounded and supported in the best way possible. And it doesn't mean that the people around you don't love you, So, and it doesn't mean that they don't want to hold space for you. They may probably just don't know how. And that's okay. So these feelings are okay. They're completely normal. But who can tell you other than someone that has been there? I'm not about gimmicks. I'm not about get rich quick schemes. I'm not about to give you 5 tips to earn $1 million. It's a different kind of conversation where I'm talking about the real and raw of what I experience on a day-to-day basis in spite of all that I've accomplished. And, but I'm so grateful of what I have accomplished. I'm very grateful about that. But I do understand that getting here is not linear. There are twists and turns. There are emotional struggles. There are moments of wanting to give up and throw in the towel. I was a part of a business incubator who kind of bypassed that. They didn't talk about the wanting to give up. And I know that it was, they were trying to create a space where you would keep the faith in spite of. But let's be real and let's be honest. When it gets hard and you feel like you don't know how to get out of the hard space that you're in, you feel like stopping. You feel like saying, I don't even want to do this anymore. But what separates the weak from the strong are the people who get up the next day and get back into the grind. I want to validate those feelings, and that business incubator, it was a part of a church, and, it's the whole religious thought processes that come with that. You're not allowed to say no and I don't want it anymore. You might upset God. I don't know. But I want to hold space and make you feel human about what you feel. I did not go into this new business having all the answers, and I'm not even one to write a business plan. I don't write business plans. I write strategies, but I don't write business plans. I don't even have a mentor. No one coached me into $3.6 million. I listened to my intuition and I allowed myself to kick and scream and cry and say, oh, this is hard and I don't know if I want to keep going. And then I just get up and just keep going. I didn't have the luxury of having mentors and business plans. Business plans forever change. Anyway, you write it out this week and it's something different about a month later. And you go back and rewrite it. And then you rewrite it again. And then because it's research. You got to see if it actually works. And then you find yourself tweaking and changing it when you find out some of the strategy in it don't work. But yeah. So I just write strategies. I just skipped ahead and write strategies. I find out who my competitors are later. I don't give a damn about no competitors. I just don't, because I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care about their customers. I was a part of what is called the Polsky Center, and they assigned me some interns from Chicago Booth, and they found my competitors. And when they found my competitors, they discovered that I was the only one that had a fourfold approach to health. The max my competitors had were three approaches. So that's the reason why we get new enrollments every day. And we accept Medicaid and private insurance, and we have like over 200 active clients on a monthly basis, collectively across all entities. And that's how we hit $3.6 million as a small business in under 6 years. It's like, and we're growing and Black owned. I don't care about their competitors. Like, my competitors, I don't care about those. All I care about are my clients and how they feel, how I want them to feel, the experiences I want them to have, and to not be treated how I was treated when I was on Medicaid, and to have access to quality health care, and to interrupt the socioeconomic barriers by waiving copays and co-insurance. Co-insurance is me sending you a bill because the insurance only picked up this amount and not the full amount, but I don't send bills. So my competitors send bills. My competitors are you picking up 80% of the costs cash pay for the ones who actually offer 3 out of the 4 services that I offer. So it's like, I don't care. So I already knew going in who I was going to serve and how and why and what I wanted them to feel and experience, and they are very successful. We're like putting diabetes in remission. We put in heart disease. We eliminating heart disease. Our people are dropping weight. They have community, and they stay. They stay. So I don't write business plans. I create strategies. It looks a little different. I don't have 20 pages. I have a whiteboard with a grid, and I write in it, and I write on it. And that's my business plan. So, we're going to talk about so much. I just wanted to share with you my heart and what I want you to know and why we need to have real conversations. The people that you hear who are claiming on social media with those screenshots to make millions and hundreds of thousands in 1 month, they want you to buy something. I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to have a conversation. And it's something weird about those screenshots, but we won't get into that. We won't get into that. But in Clubhouse, the ones who are like millionaires on Clubhouse, and how you a millionaire and you on there all day, every day? What? How are you earning $1 million and you're forever on Clubhouse? Like, so listen, I ain't gonna even get into all of that. Listen, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like, some of them people be lying. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this episode of Parallel World, where we talk about living in 2 different worlds at the same time, where things are amazing on the up, but then behind closed doors, you're like crying and kicking and screaming and mad because you're like, I don't be feeling like I know what I'm doing. But you do. You do. It just look different. Success looks different on everyone. It's a different experience. And it's okay. The way that your success shows up, it's okay. But I'm here to tell you that it's a whole community of us that are figuring out on it, figuring out life on a daily basis, moment by moment, moment by moment. All right, I'll see you next episode.